We are now recording in progress.
Got it.
Got it. All right, people. John Smalldon is a little fired up about this conversation tonight about what they're teaching the kids in schools. So this is really kind of insane. It's insanity. It's real evil that's going on, I believe. But John, let's start out. Let's talk about what you were telling me earlier about what's going on in Canada, so people get a perspective of what's going on up there, because it's going to start happening here also.
Well, Charles, it's going on all around the U.S. It's going around the world. It's in Catholic schools. It's in public schools. I'm not so sure about private schools yet, but I'm sure it will be in time. They want to teach adolescents, the liberal government want to teach adolescents about sex and health and parts of the body. And I mean, these children are like 7, 8 years old. They haven't even hit puberty yet. I believe this is something that the parents at home teaches their children, not some public school district, not a bunch of pedophile public school districts. I think that's what's going on, and it's really exploding in Canada right now. I follow this guy, they call him Big Time Roofer or Mr. Freedom. I encourage you guys to go follow him, or Marcel Perry. Go follow him as well. They're setting up a bunch of rallies as we speak right now in Canada, just on the other side of the border, Niagara Falls. It's not far from me. And they're doing the same thing there. All the schools, are going to start teaching this. And you know what? They're going to start it on Pride Month, on the very first day of Pride Month, in a couple days. What do you think of that? Do you think sexual talk should? I know when I was going to school, there was a health class, but I believe, if I remember right, that was like 9th or 10th grade. I don't think 8 or 9-year-olds or 7-year-olds are in 9th or 10th grade. They want to start teaching us in elementary school.
Yeah.
I don't think that's appropriate.
It's freaking crazy. But
I don't know what the world's coming to. I really don't know what the world's coming to.
Evil, it is real. Evil is real. And what they're teaching these kids is freaking crazy. And people have to realize this is really happening. This is not no joke. This is really happening in the school system here in our country, other countries also. It's a worldwide thing. And this really has been worked on. This isn't something new. This is something that's been worked on. They've been working on for years, probably decades, and stuff like that. But I think it's insane. And I should pull up the picture that I shared earlier about the Spencerport locally.
Can you do that? Can you pull it up on a live?
Let me see if I can pull that up, because it really is, to me, insane. And parents need to step up and speak, because this is not a joke. They need to speak up and talk about this stuff. Let other people be aware of it. And that's why I get fired up too about this stuff.
Right? It's sickening. Right? It's really sickening. It really is. It's sickening.
Need to stop sitting back going, I don't, whatever. No, these are your kids that they're
right.
This crap to. All right. And not for nothing. What about the Satan Club that's happening here locally? Like, I think it's like Fairport or Webster. They want like an after school Satan's Club. What is going on here? Let me
They won't even allow religion, God, in schools, but they want to do an after school Satan Club. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. None. No sense.
So as I'm looking this up, so what's going on in Canada? Are they pulling kids out of school? What's happening there?
A lot of the parents, I believe, as I was following Josh's live, Mr. Freedom's live, a lot of people said they're pulling their kids out of school, but I'm not in Canada. I don't know exactly if they're doing that, but a lot of people are pissed off. They're going to be going to the school and protest and rally. They're going to be going to the, doorsteps of some of the teachers. Even they're talking about doing it. This is going on around the whole country, and nobody's really. There's a few of us speaking about it. maybe amongst our friends or whatever, amongst a group of people, but there's nobody really speaking about it. And there's nobody really doing anything about it. I mean, who's doing anything about it? Who's doing anything about anything, Charles? I mean, let's be real. Who's doing anything? Everybody sits home on the computer. They get home from work. They sit home on the computer, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever they're into. And nothing's being said. Nobody even comes on Facebook and puts their feelings out there and say how they feel. Yeah, there you go. Gender diversity lesson. Now, what school is this from? Let's blast the school.
Sped support. Just locally here. It's actually probably like 15.
And you're in
20 minutes.
Rochester.
It's like 15, 20 minutes from me. Yeah.
Spencerport.
Yes.
Spencerport School has nothing but pedophiles if they want to do this. Pedophiles are running that school. Luciferian pedophiles. Look at K through 5 students on gender diversity. Now, that's not right. That's not right. Kindergarten, you start out at 5, you're going to teach a 5-year-old gender diversity? Come on.
Well,
That's demonic. That's sickening. And then people should be hung. That's what should happen. They should be hung in the village square. That's terrible.
This is a teacher actually who posted it. That's why like the names crossed out.
I got you. I got you.
So, you know, I'll read it out so people know.
Yep.
I was just handed a lesson for K through 5 students on gender diversity. We are supposed to teach the students that they can change their gender. Right? This is K through 5. Right? Teachers were shaking and crying last week over this directive by the principal. The parents have no idea that they're 5. The parents have no idea.
No.
So they're not letting the parents know about it. That the 5, 6, and 7-year-olds will be encouraged June 1st to change their identity. The mutilation of their bodies is encouraged. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture, but I posted a picture of a mutilated body one time of a female who changed gender to a male. It was disgusting, all right? Which it is insanity. I am a teacher in the Spencerport School District. What does this have to do with academics? Nothing. It has nothing to do with academics. They are brainwashing the kids in the school. Yeah. This is something that the parents need to talk about with their kids, not the school. The school should be teaching them math, social studies, English, not
a little bit of history. Teach them some history, for God's sakes.
If that's even real, not for nothing, but
I know.
I don't believe any of that stuff, but they should keep politics and this stuff out of the school systems. And a lot of people, like locally here, I know, I got to bring it up. Grace Collaborative, it's called. It's homeschooling. A lot of people are doing a lot of homeschooling. They're pulling kids out of the school because of this nonsense.
Right.
And I know the person that's running it, great person. But this is
it's unbelievable to me that we've come to this point in society where we won't allow God in school, but we're going to allow Satan in school. We're going to teach kids 5 years old, 6 years old about diversity. They can't even spell their name yet, but you're going to teach them to be a different gender if they want to. I mean,
and the parents not know about it.
Not know about it. So what else is going on in the school systems that us parents don't know about?
How about all right, this could get us booted, but they have kids decide whether or not they want to get vaccinated or not.
Yeah.
Without parent approval. The state is taking control of the children. That's what's happening. And parents need to step up. Research this stuff. That's all you got to do is research it. If you don't believe it, research it. It's out there. You're not going to hear it on the news. You won't hear it on the news.
No.
It won't be on the news. You have to research this stuff yourself. Talk to teachers. Ask them about it. Talk to your kids' teachers. Say, what's going on with this? Find out what's going on. And they're going to tell you what's going on. But you have to get involved with your kids' life. And when my kids were little, I started teaching them things when they were little, letting them know about the Constitution, about your rights, what the school's doing, what the government does. You have to teach your kids when they're young. If not, they're lost.
That's right.
If you don't teach your kids, you are literally going to destroy their future. My opinion.
Well, a lot of things I know you say go to go to the school, go to the school board. A lot of teachers probably ain't even going to say anything because they're afraid of losing their paycheck or stepping out, and they might be afraid of ridicule if they do open their mouths or something. I think a lot of teachers don't even say anything, or we would hear more about it, I think.
I think
What do you think?
I think if you went up to a teacher, if you knew a teacher, like had like conversations with them throughout the school year or whatever, I think if you went up to them and talked to them, say, listen, this is what I hear, what's going on. Is it true? I think they'll say, as long as you're not videotaping them or nothing, you'll get the truth out of them, because they don't want to get fired, because once they come out and say something, their career is shot. They will be banned. They will do everything they can to destroy that teacher, I believe. So you just need to go and go to the teacher. One day you might talk to on occasion with your kids and say, listen, what's going on? Is this in the curriculum? Are they teaching the kids this stuff? You have to get involved with your kids' lives like that. You can't just expect the state, the government to control your kids and brainwash them.
Well, I think a lot of the public school system is basically a daycare for a lot of parents, so they can go to work or they can go do what they got to do throughout the day, and their kids are safe at school. They're supposed to be safe at school. But things like this, the kids are not safe at school. They're mentally destroying the children's lives. They may not be physically touching the kids, or they may not be physically showing the kids certain body parts or private parts or anything like that, but they're mentally damaging these kids by telling them, hey, you can be a girl if you want. You want to be a girl this week? Here, let's go play with a doll. I mean, come on. Or even talking about sex to 5, 6, 7-year-olds. The birds and the bees are supposed to be coming from your parents or someone in your own household when you're old enough to know about it.
And sometimes
I was growing up.
And sometimes you don't even do that. You learn from your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay away with, away from, and you learn a lot from your friends as you're hanging out with your friends and talking, discussing things and this and that.
Right.
It should not be to school encouraging this stuff. And it's not about it's not about being.
It's about morals. Where's the morals? How could I just couldn't. I couldn't place myself being a teacher trying to teach other kids some sexual thing at 5 or 6 years old in a classroom. I mean, what has to be mentally wrong with your mind to think that that's a good idea? I don't get it.
Well, like the Post said, I'm a teacher in Spencer School District. What does it have to do with academics? But it says, teachers were shaking and crying last week over this directive by the principal. So there's a lot of teachers that don't like what's going on, but they can't speak out about it. That's why like if you talk to a teacher, if you have like a relationship with a teacher, say, listen, between me and you, what's going on here? What's happening? And I'll tell you what, you have to speak up. These are your kids. This is your kid's future. And I'll tell you what, what's going to happen is there's going to be a challenge. Like you're going to be struggling with your kid of what the school tells them and what you tell them. And it should not be like that. It should not be like that. So you're going to be like fighting with your kid about what's right and what's wrong against the school, what's telling them what's right and what's wrong. And it should not be that way. It's the parents' right. The parent has to take back control of their kids in the school. And that's why it's important, like the school boards and stuff like that. But everybody sits back. Nobody votes at the school boards.
No, nobody's getting involved. It's a shame. Nobody's getting involved. It's a big shame. And, I just had a point as you were talking, and now I kind of lost track of it. But I think more parents definitely need to step up and speak up, even if you don't want to go to a public rally or public gathering or whatever, flag waving party, whatever. I mean, at least speak up on Facebook, at least look in the phone book, find your school's phone number and call them. Everybody call your schools, find out what the heck is going on with the children. What is it? What are they teaching your kids? We just told you what they're teaching them or what they want to teach them, and it's going to happen worldwide. It's happening in Canada now. There's some states, there's some spots in New York that it's happening now, and it's going to be coming to a school near you.
And and if you don't speak up, what you want to say something?
Yeah.
If you don't speak up, they're just going to push it even more. But if you fight back, you're going to slow them down. At least slow them down, because I'll tell you what, it's sickening. You know, I don't have any kids, but I have a granddaughter now. All right, who's going to be 2, and I see her future is just totally. At least my daughter, I taught her, and she's going to teach her. You know what I'm saying? My granddaughter.
Yeah.
Because that's what you have to do. You have to take control of your kids and teach them what's right and what's wrong. There's nothing wrong whatsoever with being gay, lesbian, or whatever else.
No.
But you can't force it on the kids. It's up to the parents to discuss that.
That's right.
So freaking ridiculous, and people are just letting it slide through and just letting it go. The information's there. Call your school, talk to your teacher, find out what's going on, or you're destroyed. You will be fighting with your.
You're
kid.
helping destroy your own kid if you don't say anything. Plain and simple.
Get off your butts and start looking into this stuff. You have to. You have to. And it's not that hard. And then the biggest thing is, don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid of what people think of you. Don't be afraid. If you have information, if you know something's going on in your school, let your other friends know. Let people know about it. Don't be afraid about what people think of you. Tell them the same thing. Look it up yourself and figure, research.
If you're afraid, if you're afraid to say something, you find information out, send it to this page, we'll say something. I mean, right, Charles? We'll say something. We'll get it out there. We'll get it out to the public. I have no problem doing that at all. I'm going to be a nightmare for these people starting this day forward. I'm going to be a nightmare. I'm going to be a pain in everybody's ass over this, and I'm not going to quit until they quit. And we need more people to step up.
If there's any teachers out there, any teachers whatsoever, they could message either me or John. Let us know what's happening in the schools. If you could make like prints of any kind of curriculum stuff that's going on. And
we won't say where it comes from.
We won't say where it comes from, but we will post it on Save New York to let people know what's going on. Because people need to, this is serious stuff. It's like I said, evil's real. And let's step back a little bit, right? Actually change the subject a little bit. But John, you know about George Orwell's 1984, right?
Yeah.
This is another thing going down the pipe. Where kids are going to tell on the parents about things. If anybody's ever read it or watched George Orwell's 1984, the kids they're already getting control of things.
Yeah.
That's exactly was planned out. If you watch George Orwell's 1984, where the guy had to try to talk and be out of the camera watching him. You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot.
Yep.
He changed the language in this book, in this movie. They changed the language on what you can say. There's a specific person that was going through. This is all happening right in front of you, and nobody sees it. Watch George Orwell's 1984. Watch it and see how it correlates with what's happening today. It's there.
Yeah, it sure is. I think a lot of us, the moms started standing up when they started talking about vaccinating the children, right? The moms came out in full force around the country, everywhere. Moms came out. I don't even see the moms out anymore. It's like everybody stopped fighting. Well, not everybody. There's a good amount of people out there that are fighting for the children, but there's just not enough. If you have a child, you should be fighting for your child. You should be. I don't know exactly everything 100% what's going on in my daughter's school, but after tonight, I'm going to find out. After all the stuff I seen today, and I know it's true, I know where it came from, I'm going to find out. I'm going to be making some phone calls, and I know a bunch of other people are going to be making some phone calls to find out what the heck is going on. I think we should have stood up a few years ago, the Obama era, maybe, like if you spanked the school was telling your kids, if you get yelled at home, make sure, you tell us tomorrow, and we'll take care of it. We'll get your parents in trouble or whatever. You can't even spank your kids anymore. They go to school, they tell a teacher, you got CPS knocking on your door. Then you get a CPS case. And the kids know it. The kids know what they can and cannot get away with. But that doesn't mean that the school should be messing with their minds with sexuality and all of that stuff. That's crossing the line to me. And people need to stand up. That's all there is to it. People got to stand up.
And the whole government, that's why they started the Department of Education. That's why it should be banned. It should be state run, not federal run.
Exactly.
School systems, because that's when it all started. That's when the indoctrination part starts.
Yeah.
It's
I was watching that live video earlier, and you could tell he was pretty fired up because now it's happening right at his kid's school. So, if I had got a paperwork like that sent home to me saying they were gonna, I can't think of the exact words, but I did share it earlier. It's very demonic. It's very vague. You don't know. It just says, I'm going to, this teacher so-and-so is going to teach your kids sexual something or other, orientation or something like that. I mean, when are we going to stand up? I think it's already too late in a way. I think they've gotten to a bunch of kids. I don't know. I really don't know, Charles. I think we're too late in a way. I hope we're not. I mean, if we don't stand up soon, we're going to be too late. I'll tell you that.
People are waking up, and I wish people woke up.
They are.
Years ago, but people are waking up because they're seeing. Once it hits them, that's when they're going to realize it. Once it hits them, once your kid comes home and goes, "Mommy, I think I want to be a girl." What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Where'd you learn this? Oh, well, we were learning it in school. I want to be a girl. Yeah. I think I like dresses. All right. 5-year-old kids, whatever, little boys have dressed up in dresses.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of life as you're adolescent, as you're 4, 5, 6 years old. You play doll, you play house, you play with Barbies. You don't stick with it if you don't stick with it. You know what I mean? I'm sure I might have played with a G.I. Joe when I was a kid. I mean, who knows?
Oh, I had G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip. Oh, yeah. Right?
I don't know, Charles. It's really sad. It's sad.
The little girl goes, "Mommy, I like playing with the little cars that brother Bobby has. I like playing with them little cars. I think I might be a boy." No, where'd you learn that? School. Because they're talking to them. They're saying, "Oh, you like little cars? You like playing with cars? You like little Tonka trucks? You might be a boy in a female's body."
Yeah.
That's the craziness. I mean, I'm not sure if that's happening or not, but I'm just saying it could lead to something like that.
It could. That's kind of sickening, that child has to think about that growing up forever. What am I? They drill it into their heads day after day after day, all through Pride Month. I believe this thing's going on all through Pride Month in Canada now. I don't know about here, but I am going to find out. Well, besides what you showed earlier, I don't know of any other schools participating in this demonic pedophilia ring, but we're going to find out. We will find out. We do need teachers. We do need people to email us or PM us, do whatever you can do to find out what's going on in your kid's school and your kid's life. And we will put it out there. I mean, everybody needs to know. Everybody needs to stand up. We're running out of time, folks. We really are. We said it a long time ago. They're coming for the kids. It started with the shots, You got all these teenagers just dropping like flies. It's like, not now. I don't see it as much now, but I did, throughout the winter and stuff. It was pretty bad. Every day on Facebook, you just see, "Oh, please pray for this one. Please pray for that one." And, it was pretty sad, actually. It was really sad.
I just like to call it suddenly.
Suddenly, yeah.
Suddenly.
Yeah, well,
something happens suddenly.
Yeah, well, what's suddenly going to happen next, Charles? I mean, we're hearing about nukes every day now. We're hearing about all kinds of stuff. We have all these illegal immigrants coming into the country. I'm getting DMs all the time. Hey, I see a white van filled with illegals here. Hey, I don't know why everybody sends it to me like I'm on hot pursuit. I'm going to go chase them down or something, but
Yeah.
I get a lot of information all the time. People send me stuff daily, and it's like I don't have time to go check things out all the time. I did my illegal immigrant investigation there a few months ago when I went to the motel and got pictures of all the vehicles, and I got spotted on the way out, and it became a big Facebook story there for a while, and then it just went quiet. That's what happens a lot. Like this school thing, it'll be a big Facebook story for a while. You're going to see a lot of people get pissed off, and then like nothing ever happened.
What's actually this stuff actually has been going on. I've been seeing it now for several weeks.
Yeah,
It has been going on, but the thing is, people, the urgency, the least look into it. Call your school. Find out what their curriculum is. Find out the information. At least take that step. At least take that step. If you're too afraid to share it out to your friends or family, other people that have kids, then if you're too afraid to do it, don't do it. You could do it when you feel it's right to do it, but at least get informed yourself of what's going on.
right. Don't take our word for anything. Don't take our word for a thing. Do your own research. But I wouldn't come on here live and say something that I wasn't pretty darn sure of. And I know what's coming. I know what's going on in Canada. Like I said, watch Big Time Roofer, Lord Big Time, or Mr. Freedom, or Marcel Perry. I follow Marcel Perry religiously every morning. I wake up at 5 o'clock. I watch him from like 6 o'clock, 5:30 to 6 o'clock or something like that. He starts my day of what's going on just on the other side of the border, because I'm in the Adirondacks here. I'm not far from Niagara Falls, and he's just on the other side of Niagara Falls. So I like to know what's going on kind of in a circle around me, 50, 80-mile circle, figure out what the heck's going on. And it seems to be happening quite a bit in Canada, and they're not happy. So I think everyone should keep their eyes on Canada. And I think whether they rally or not on the school's doorsteps, I think if we have enough information, if people can help gather some information, I think we should rally on some school steps. I really do. This isn't fair. It's not fair for the parents. It's not fair for the kids. It's just going to ruin the kids' mentality. It really is. I mean, how can you teach a 5-year-old kid whether he wants to be a boy or a girl, and he doesn't even know how to write his name, her name? I mean, I really see a problem with that, Charles. I really see a problem with it. I'm going to do everything I can. Like I said, I'm going to be a thorn in every school department's ass from now on. I mean, it doesn't even have to be my school district. It could be the next school district next to me, because I know if it's happening there, it's coming here. You know what I mean? It's happening by you right now with the letter that you showed. So it's coming here. Maybe we already got that letter and the parents don't know.
Exactly. That's why it says that the parents don't know what's going on. That's why they have to get involved, find out. Do this for your kids. Seriously.
Yeah.
Do it for your
kids.
It's
sad. It's sad times we're living in,
Because the evil is real. Even the pedophilia stuff with the freaking drag people guys. Why do they want children as an audience? Why?
Exactly.
It's
called grooming. It's called grooming. Not that I've done a lot of research on it, but from the live video that I watched earlier with Mr. Freedom there, it's called grooming. They're grooming the children. It's really sad. More of us ain't thinking about stepping up or even just speaking out. The first step would be to find out your school's number, and everybody in this, call your neighbor, have your neighbor call their neighbor, call your cousins, call your brothers, call whoever you got to call. Everybody in that school, their parents, you got to call the school. If they get 1,000 calls in one day, they're going to know something's up. Right?
Yeah.
Right or wrong. I mean, you get 1,000, you get, say, on a normal business day, you might get 50 calls at the principal's office or whatever. Well, if they get 1,000 calls tomorrow, they're going to be like, maybe we shouldn't do this. You mentioned the drag time, story time stuff. That's happening in libraries across America.
But there's a counter to that. People are actually out there doing another story time thing going on. And there's a whole, I wish I had that also, but there's a whole thing right there about teaching kids the normal way, more, I guess you call it the normal, way. But yeah, even if, like you said thousands, even if 100 or 200, that's still gonna blow their mind. Even if it's 100 or 200 at one school district, they're still gonna be like, wow, these parents are not happy about this. But
yeah, that's what we have to do. I think that would be a very good step, a very good stepping stone to get this. We'll call it a campaign. The government calls it a campaign, whatever they do. So we're going to call it Save the Children campaign. I think that'll be a very first step for the Save the Children campaign, is have everybody call tomorrow. It's Friday. Oh, I don't know how many people are going to see the video. Let's say next week sometime, pick a day, next Thursday. Everybody call your school on next Thursday. Next Wednesday, next Thursday, call your school. Today's Thursday, the 31st. I don't know. We said a couple bad words in here, so Mark Zuckerberg might, and his cronies might, flag the video, and people might not see it right away. So as soon as you see the video, call your school. Even if it's after work at night, leave a message. Tell them who you are. Leave a message, or call anonymously. It doesn't matter. Just call. Let them get a phone call.
Voicemail.
Fill their voicemail. That's right. That's what I say. Anything else, Charles, you want to catch up on?
But just, at least look into it. I mean, when we talked about one time, like stream it from the rooftops. Look into it. At least call the school find out what their curriculum is. Find out if they're teaching them this stuff. Get informed. It's important. Do it for your kids. That's all.
I was watching that video earlier. One more thing here. I was watching that video earlier, and this is nothing against any religion whatsoever. I mean, I don't care what you are, who you are, what color you are. You treat me nice, I treat you nice, and everybody gets along, right? I'm not anything like that. But so on this video I was watching earlier, there must have been, Mr. Freedom's he's got a pretty big following, and a lot, thousands. So as I'm watching the things pop up on the video, because he said he's pulling his kids out of school, he's going to put them in a Catholic school right down the road from his house. Now, most of the people that's on his page are from Canada. There's some New Yorkers, there's some U.S. citizens on his page as well. But most of the thread after he said about putting them in a Catholic school, there was people saying they took their kids out of the Catholic schools because they were teaching the same damn thing. They started teaching the same thing in Catholic schools, so they ripped their kids out. Now they're homeschooling. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't see it for myself. I'm just saying what I seen on that video. A lot of people were saying it. I'm assuming it's true.
Well, the 501, what is it? The 501c3, is that what it's called?
501c3, yep.
Yeah. Once schools or even churches get involved with that, the government has their fingers in it.
Yeah, they have to do what the government says, or they don't get that tax exemption.
Exactly. So once they
don't get the grants.
So I heard that once churches or like Catholic schools and stuff like that, once they file for that, they are now controlled. There's a controlling aspect of the government with them. Because I'll tell you what, they can make your life miserable. Audits, everything. So they have.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why churches and schools, Catholic schools or private schools, have to stay away from that. The 501c3s, they have to stay away from it.
Well, you know what? If you're going to a man-made church, and they're not talking about what's going on in today's events, they're not talking about the shot, what it can do to you. They're not talking about what they're trying to do to the children, and some churches are even doing it to the children.
Yeah.
If they're not following the word of God from the book, then it's not a church you should be at, because it's not a real church. In my opinion, I don't go to church. I love God from home. I don't need church. It's just, I'm not going to go pass my hat around for some preacher to take some kid on a date somewhere. I'm not into that. So you don't need to know God or love God if you don't go to church. I mean, you can love him from home. I think the churches are involved in a lot of this. I think the Vatican, I'm understanding there's a lot of things going on with the Vatican. There's a lot of books that are out of the Bible in the Vatican that they won't show anybody. I mean, like you said, there's good and evil here. And the more you look at it, the more you look at the astrology of the world and what's going on in the skies. I mean, there's really something going on here that's above you and I. There's definitely a higher power somewhere, in my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong, but there's something out there that we can't control. For sure.
There's real evil and there's real good.
Yeah.
People have to decide which side they want to be on.
Yeah.
What they're willing to fight for. But I think we're pretty much set. We should do it. These are good.
I'd rather do this than bring candidates on.
Or guests.
Honestly, I like to bring the candidates on. So for one, I really don't know the candidates like I used to when I was doing the Carpinelli campaign. I got to know them all, and I had a ball doing that. Now I don't know who's running for who or who's running for what or where they're running. And so I kind of like to keep up on that, but this is a little more, I think this is more important, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But we have like next week, Peter Vasquez.
Okay.
He's the president of the Frederick Douglass Foundation. We talked about
it.
And
yep.
his own show out there, but he's trying to inform people. So we have the guests on really because these are letting people know that there's other people out there trying to inform people of what's
right
on and how corrupt and how crazy everything really is. Because there's many of us out there, just people don't know it. Then I have I contacted Mark Cassini. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No.
He's running for county executive here in Monroe County against Adam Bello, who was behind all the craziness with the lockdowns, everything else. So Mark Cassini is running against him. So I talked to him, and he'll be on it. He's just going to let me know when. But he's another one. These are people that we have on that are fighting the crazy system, the crazy going on. So it's good that we have them on. But I think we could do these like maybe every couple of weeks.
Maybe we should. Maybe next week we'll have him on, and then the following week it'll be me and you again. Then we'll have someone on, then me and you, or
every couple of weeks, and then we'll come into something like this. And
because this is one of the most important topics I think we're ever going to be talking about. I mean, it's serious stuff, folks, and everybody needs to just get involved one way or another. I say start it out, call your school.
Call your school.
Call your county representative even, just make phone calls instead of sitting on Facebook for 2 hours a night. Sit on Facebook for an hour and do some research for another hour about what we're talking about. You don't have to believe us. I mean, research it yourself. The information is out there, especially in other parts of the world. I mean, don't just research here, the United States. I mean, research Canada. What's going on in Canada? Research whatever. Somebody's here. Research, Louisiana, for example. See if they're doing anything in Louisiana. I mean, everything's out there in the public eye, and a lot of people are missing it. Really are.
stay away from Google.
Yeah,
Use other search engines. Anyways,
right.
John, we're going on like 45 minutes here. We can go on like.
Oh, don't. Yeah, I was gonna really, I didn't want to get zucked off here, so we'll behave tonight, and as time goes on, we'll get fired up.
Yeah, because last time was like an hour and a half or so. But
I know.
All right,
I know it.
let's call it a night.
All right, brother.
It'll be easy for me to record, download it, all this stuff, everything.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Listen, bottom line, contact your school board or your school teachers, your principals, get the information, find out for yourself, take it from there.
And that's it. And everybody have a great night. Be safe and keep an eye on your children.
And we'll see you next Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good night, everybody.